Welcome back to the upper tier, folks. This is your morning transfer show again. Another fresh morning here in the southeast of Ireland, in Wicklow, the Garden of Ireland, of course. Bit overcast today, though. Bit of a threat of rain, I would imagine. But we thought we'd jump on a little bit of transfer news and stuff like that. Of course, nowhere else to start but with Alexis McAllister's move to Liverpool. Medical done, soon to be unveiled. 35 million fee. Absolutely incredible business by Liverpool. I'm sure most of Liverpool's rivals will be going absolutely ballistic that they slept on this. Most of the midfielders out there at the moment going for 50, 60, 70, 80. God knows what Declan Rice is going to cost if he moves from West Ham. But incredible business by Liverpool. Who knows, nearly for the cost of one of these high-end midfielders. Liverpool could nearly reinvent their home midfield, looking at, of course, Thuram and Kone as well. So let's see what happens there. But fantastic business getting a quality player in for 35 million in the current market is an absolute snip. World Cup winner and all. Outstanding player for Brighton last season as well. We got to talk about Lionel Messi, who we thought would probably jump on the money train in Saudi Arabia like a number of players are doing, but hasn't. He has opted to go to the MLS and Inter Miami. Interesting move for the boy. He originally said if he wanted to stay in Europe, he would only stay in Barcelona, but it was fairly evident by their financial situation that that wouldn't be able to happen. He didn't want to put Barcelona in a financial situation, kind of what happened when he was leaving. So that kind of wouldn't have worked out. So then, last minute bid came in from Saudi Arabia where they wanted to offer him 1.5 billion for 3 seasons, 500 million a season. And apparently he has turned this down. He's going to sign with Inter Miami and head off to the MLS. Absolutely incredible. The money that's being offered out of Saudi Arabia at the moment now is just crazy money. We've seen Benzema unveiled. Absolutely crazy stuff. We will talk about N'Golo Kante. We'll get onto that now. Looks like he's going to take a move to Saudi Arabia. He's going to be leaving Chelsea. This is the beginning of Chelsea moving players out and stuff like that. N'Golo Kante, he will definitely be missed in the league. What a character and what a player he has been. But these kind of moves at this stage in these boys' careers is absolutely massive. These guys are going to be set for life, and probably a number of lives with the amount of money that they're gonna earn. So incredible for N'Golo Kante, Karim Benzema, and a number of others will go that route as well. There's no doubt about it. Jude Bellingham looks like he's going to get his move to Real Madrid. 88.5 million initially with 31 million in add-ons. Huge deal. A lot of weight on the boy's shoulders. Has a lot to live up to. Going to be interesting to see how he slots into that midfield at Real Madrid. How will it all play out? You've got Tchouaméni there, you've got Camavinga there, obviously Cruz, Modric, so many players there. So it'll be interesting to see how Jude Bellingham fits into Los Blancos. But absolutely huge move. On reflection, it's a shame we didn't get him and stuff like that, but it looks like we're going to be okay in doing our own business anyway. But we wish the boy all the best of luck at Real Madrid and stuff like that. And let's see how that all plays out. But a massive move incoming to be announced. Neymar has come up again. It looks like where this was only kind of paper talk last week, it looks like this could be very real now. Chelsea very interested in bringing Neymar to the Premier League if a deal can be done, pending on the structure of the deal and stuff like that. And of course it's probably hinging on how many players Chelsea can get out the door as they slim down that bloated squad that they have. But certainly Neymar would be a huge acquisition for any team in the Premier League. Man United are interested in it as well. We know that they're looking to reinforce on their front line. He would be huge for them as well in terms of marketing and image rights and all that kind of stuff that comes with it as well. Fabulous talent, has won trophies everywhere he's been, and been successful as everywhere he's been as well. So this would be a huge acquisition for the Premier League to bring Neymar in. It's very interesting times, of course, for PSG then, because when you look at PSG, no Messi, no Neymar, we're back to Mbappe being there. What are PSG going to do in the market? Would they look to a Harry Kane? Who else would they look to potentially bring in? Because their fans are going to be kind of up in arms looking to see what the next phase of PSG is going to look like. So let's see how that goes. We'll keep an eye on it. United, very interested in sorting out their goalkeeping situation. fairly evident in the season gone by. David De Gea, who they're trying to renegotiate his contract down by giving him a bit of an extension but reducing down the weekly wage. His wage is so bloated. That last contract was crazy for United to agree. But it has had its faults in terms of he's really struggling to adjust to Eric Ten Hag's way of playing in terms of playing out from the back. We know that he's not really good with his feet. That's one of his negatives. But they are looking at David Raya, and they're also looking at Diogo Costa as alternatives to David De Gea. So we're going to be interested to see what happens there with Man United. Are they going to be able to put in a situation where they bring in a new number one that fits that style of play? David De Gea potentially becoming number two. Would David De Gea at this stage in his career be happy to sit on the bench at United and be number two? Or would he look and seek a move away then? And again, David De Gea, he could be someone that Saudi Arabia look at, who knows? And then would the United have to bring in two goalkeepers? Could they be bringing in Raya and Costa if that's the case? But we'll keep an eye on that. Man United's goalkeeping situation certainly up in the air at the moment. A lot of mixed opinions about David De Gea and stuff like that. He's been a brilliant part of the team and a brilliant part of the club, and intricate in terms of over the last decade and stuff like that. Although they haven't had a huge amount of success, similar to ourselves this season, God knows where they would have finished in leagues at times if they hadn't had David De Gea, who multiple times was player of the season. Up next, Levi Colwill, a guy we've been keeping an eye on all season. Myself and Darren have spoke about him a number of times at Brighton. Sensational player there, of course, on loaned out by Chelsea. Brighton put in an initial bid of 30 million for the boy, which Chelsea dismissed out of hand straight away. Apparently they're going to go back in with another bid of 40 million just to test Chelsea's resolve. Is this a boy that Chelsea would like to get rid of? I'm not too sure in terms of their development and stuff like that. Excellent player, has had an excellent season for Brighton. So I'm not too sure whether 40 million gets it over the mark or not, but it'll be interesting to see the kind of pieces and the chess moves that Chelsea are going to make in this window are going to be a lot more calculated, I think, than the scattergun approach they had over the last two windows. So Levi Colwill might be a big part of Chelsea's redevelopment, and they may not want to sell the boy, but let's see what happens. Newcastle staring into an interesting season now. Huge success last year, coming in the top four and stuff like that. Eddie Howe doing wonderful stuff, getting to a domestic cup final and all those kind of things. Obviously disappointed not getting over the line. But it's fairly evident now that the squad that's there at Newcastle is not a squad that's built to compete in the Champions League and in the Premier League and of course all the other domestic stuff. So he's now going to have to go out there. He's going to have to raise the quality and the profile of the players at the team and stuff like that. And we kind of knew this was going to happen. Myself and Darren kind of forecasted that he would go in the first year, make some changes. He's done unbelievable work in there with the likes of Joe Linton and Willock. Bruno Guimaraes coming in, unbelievable. Alexander Isaac, all these players there, they've been absolutely brilliant this season. Callum Wilson, he's really reinvented some of these players on that success at Newcastle. But now it's time to step up to another level in terms of the Champions League and stuff like that. And if they want to stay in that top four, potentially top five next season, and in that Champions League, they're going to have a very different team and a very different squad with much more quality in there. So they're talking about Sam Maximin leaving, which is kind of understandable. He carries a lot of injuries at times and gets injured quite a lot. And what he gives you in power and pace, he lacks in finishing and creativity in those final moments and stuff like that. He's been a fabulous servant for the club, of course, through the championship and the relegation and all that kind of stuff. Came back up into the Premier League. He's always a very exciting player when he plays. But I think for Eddie Howe now, he has to look at players with just that bit more quality, but also in terms of availability. Carrying players like this now that are only available for a portion of the season is not acceptable anymore, and we see it ourselves at Liverpool, and a lot of the teams are saying that now. If you're carrying players that are kind of injury prone or carry injuries, they're luxury players now you can't afford to carry. Talk of Harry Maguire going to Tottenham. It's no secret, of course, he's going to exit the building at Man United without a shadow of a doubt. But where does he go? Does he go to Aston Villa? Does he go to Tottenham? Tottenham is kind of a weird fit as well, because he goes in there, he's going to go in beside Eric Dyer. Now we know that these guys at times have performed for England and there. Maguire certainly looks like a very different player when he's playing for England. But to go in there with Eric Dyer at the moment and the troubles that Tottenham have had this season where they've just looked so ordinary and at times just all over the place. Is Harry Maguire the guy to go in there? I'm not too sure, and I wouldn't be feeling very comfortable if I was a Tottenham fan or if I was Postecoglou who was going in there to take over as a manager, that I'd be having a centre-back pairing or a centre-back three of Romero, who's quite erratic, tends to get sent off and gives away quite a bit. He hasn't really been the player this season that we thought he would be. We thought he would come in and be sensational and started well. But to have him in there, Harry Maguire and Eric Dyer, wouldn't breed a lot of confidence in me in terms of that defence. So let's see what happens. We'll keep an eye on Harry Maguire, but there's no doubt it's going to result in a move. Has to go this season, really. Napoli's Kim Min-jae, fabulous player that his release clause is ready to be triggered in July. We know United are very hot on this boy, looking to bring him in and stuff like that. But Newcastle have entered the fray as well. So would Newcastle look to be a more attractive proposition? Probably not. I think he'll probably end up going to United. He's definitely one of their targets. They've been talking about him since even before the season ended. And remember, folks, we're only 6 days away from the transfer window starting, so it's all going to heat up. Congratulations to West Ham last night in winning the Europa Conference League. Sensational scenes there. Fans let them down a little bit, of course, at times. But we're not going to let that overshadow the achievement and the success of what West Ham achieved last night. Great scenes with David Moyes and Declan Rice. Interesting to see now, does the ball get rolling on Declan Rice? Who are the real players who are really intent on signing this boy? Gonna cost you upwards of 80 to 100 million or whatever it is with add-ons. Who was going to take that plunge? We know Arsenal are linked with him. We know City are interested in him. We know United are interested in him. All the players are interested in this boy. Sensational midfielder there at West Ham. Definitely will be a miss for them, and they're going to have to think about their strategy if this boy goes and how they spend that money. They're going to have to be so careful because he has really been that engine in there for them. But it'll be interesting to see how this pans out, this Kim Min-jae situation. My gut feel probably tells me he's going to United, but I wouldn't be surprised if Eddie Howe and Chelsea is an attractive proposition for players at this time. They're now in that hub of that top four, and the attraction of Champions League football and all that kind of stuff would be absolutely huge. As always, we also mentioned Declan Rice there, absolutely going to heat up now with this boy. You're going to see talks, agents, bids coming in, all that kind of stuff now. That could be really rallied up with a number of teams really interested in him. God knows what price he's going to go for. It's mad, isn't it, when you think that Declan Rice could sell for upwards of 80, 90 million plus add-ons. And then you think of Liverpool signing McAllister at 35 million. There is value to be there in the market if you're clever and you're on the ball and you know what these clauses are and what the buyouts are and stuff like that. You don't always have to go and spend stupid money to get really good players in. Also going to be interesting once the window opens to see what the likes of these promoted teams do, the Burnleys and the Lutons of this world, and let's see what they're going to do and how they're going to move in the market. Are we going to see the madness of Nottingham Forest? Are we going to see a more careful approach and stuff like that? Forest is going to be an interesting one as well. A lot of players there. We've seen some being released already. As Stevie Cooper gets ready for another season in the Premier League, certainly he's going to have to establish his panel of 25 players and move out the door whoever needs to be moved out. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on that. Be interesting to see how Chelsea take the bloatness out of that squad and how they refresh it and who they bring in to create that kind of push. They need to bounce back this season big time after a disastrous season. Also, don't forget, folks, join us tonight. We're going to be previewing from 9:30 on the channel. We're going to be previewing the Champions League final. We're going to be talking about Inter Milan and asking the hard questions. Can they really pose a threat to Man City and stopping this treble and winning the Champions League? They're absolutely steamrolling it at the moment. City, exceptional team. Hard to see anyone winning bar Man City, but we know these Italian teams can rock up and spoil the party. Myself and Darren will also be delivering our team of the season, our flop team of the season, and also our team of the season outside of the top six, which is something that we always do to be interesting. So we'll discuss those teams with you as well. Get your thoughts in the chat and stuff like that. So join us 9:30 tonight for that show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Dynamo's dozen at 7:30 we're going to be on as well, looking back and reflecting on the career of the Iron Sheik, who sadly passed away yesterday at the age of 81 years of age. Everyone on the channel knows what a huge pro wrestling fan I am, as well as football. So we always like doing those shows as well. So plenty of content coming your way. 7:30 Dynamo's dozen, reflecting on the Iron Sheik. At 9:30 Champions League final preview, plus our 11s for the season, flops, outside the top 6, and our team of the season. Thanks for joining me as always. Hit the like button down on the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification. Let us know your thoughts on the transfer window in the comments as well. What has your team got to do? Who do you want to see go out? Who do you want to see come in? And let us know your thoughts.